Give me 1 sec. Messing with settings. There we are. Okay. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stop the stream, restart it. Hopefully it'll be everywhere else as well. Okay. Hold on. Alright. I think this should do it. Let me know when I'm back. It's easier than I'm doing it myself. Alright, so you're there. Let's go here. Popped up. Go here. Yes. Didn't pop up again. Chat is still bugged. Alright. But I think it's, it should be back. Right? Alright. I am streaming. Please let me know if I'm back. Alright, cool. Yeah, alright. Alright, so good to go then, I guess. It's really frustrating when your only means of whatever stopped working. But cool. Back up. Small gap in what happened. But we should be okay for now. Anyway. Yeah, definitely. But there's no guarantee that it'll happen tonight. Angie-sama, you can do it. Please, Angie-sama. Start with the youngest sister, Asmo. The cough is still here too, so we're all here. Asmodeus, the seventh sister. Got it. I'll call them in order of starting from the youngest. A strand of hot sweat dripped down my forehead. This really is going to be one hell of a burden to carry. The pale light in this space began to slowly form into the outline of a girl. Come, arise, one of the 7 stakes of purgatory, Asmodeus of lust. There was no vessel. However, as I held a strong conviction that she definitely did exist there as a core, her form began to crystallize. Her outline became distinct, and the form of the youngest of the 7 sisters, Asmodeus, was finally created. Asmodeus of lust, right here. Where is this? Am I alive? Give me 1 sec to do something real quick. Where is this? Am I alive? Asmo! I'm so glad. Emma Nason. Where in the world is this? Who summoned me? Angie-sama did. Angie-sama said she'd revive all of us. No, I didn't. Angie-sama, thank you. To Belle's next, please. Beelzebub, the 6th sister. Beelzebub of gluttony. Come, arise. At this rate, I wonder how many I'll be able to summon. If I can't focus, this is probably it. The pale light made an outline and formed into Beelzebub. Beelzebub of gluttony, right here. Yeah. Well, Angie-sama, you're amazing, incredible. Mammon and Asmodeus jumped into Beelzebub, celebrating their reunion. I'd summoned 3 people at once. My head was throbbing. Gotta summon the next one without stopping for a break. Come, arise. One of the 7 stakes, Belphegor of Sloth. Belphegor of Sloth, right here. To think that I would be needed again. That's the name. I'm hungry. I'm glad to see you again. Gluttony. To think that the 7 sisters would be able to meet again. Angie-sama, thank you so much. Keep it up and do Satan next. And Leviane. And Lucine. Yeah, I get it. But please, try not to be so loud. Doing 4 people at the same time is pretty tough. Angie, don't overdo it any more than this. You did a good job summoning even 4 of them after such a long time. Stop it, Mammon. Right now, Angie-sama is being pressured by the burden of summoning us. Angie-sama, I beg that you do not strain yourself too much. No way! Angie-sama promised! You said we'd all play together again. No, Right? Angie-sama? You said everyone would meet again. You promised that we could meet again right away. Manipulation of the highest order. That's right. I promised. I didn't promise anything when... But I certainly did promise. I'll keep that promise. If you don't, I'll never forgive you for forgetting it until the day, Angie-sama. Come, arise. One of the 7 stakes of purgatory. Satan of wrath. My mind is getting hazy. But I'll call. Even though I'd forgotten about those days. Even though I've never thought of that time as anything but sad and lonely. Because the short time I spent with them was fun, without a doubt. Satan of Wrath, right here. What the hell are you people doing? Don't you realize how much it's burdening Angie-sama just to let us have an idle chat? Satan, who had apparently figured out the situation immediately after being summoned, cried out in a loud voice, telling her sisters off. That loud voice made my consciousness hazy again. We are furniture who have been granted rest by Beatrice and whose duty has been finished. Not only are you not honored at being given another chance to be of some use, but you're putting a burden on our new master. You disgrace to all furniture. Erase yourselves, right away. Yes, it's like Satan says. I'll erase myself. You all erase yourselves too. In this moment, that's the best way for us to be of use to Angie-sama. No way. Not until everyone's summoned. Same here. I'm hungry. I mean, I'd hate to leave again so soon after being reunited with you all. Don't be so selfish. Come on, erase yourself, quickly. Come on, Asmo. Disappear, right now. Ah, Satan is bullying me. It's not fair if you always bully the youngest one. Yes, they really are lively. It doesn't bore me. That's enough. You've surpassed your limits for now, Angie. You're right. With 5 of them summoned and messing around as they pleased, the load was far too heavy for me with the meager magical power I had at the moment. This is it. As my consciousness went hazy, I fell over onto the bed. Have beds always felt this soft? It seemed that the sisters were still squabbling together as much as they liked. For a way to kill time until drowsiness comes to get me. This is enough. Feeling something warm and nostalgic in the sisters' liveliness, I sank into a deep world of sleep. At the entrance to my dream world, I felt Maria One-chan and Sakutaro waiting to receive me. You worked hard, and good job. Uryu, welcome back, Angie. Welcome back, huh? Then I should respond like this. I'm home. Yeah, that's Tadaimo. And yeah. Okaeri nasai and Tadaimo, I think, are the two phrases. Umineko no Nakukoro ni Rondo of the Witch and Reasoning. Alright then. He apparently has summoned 5 of the 7 deadly sins, and then proceeded to pass out in front of them. Honestly, not the best choice of actions if I were to say so. But that's right. Just once in the past, I underwent training in order to step into the world of witches. I accepted that the only power that could save me from those sad, painful days at St. Lucia Academy was a thing called magic, and I received Maria's introduction to the basics. Imagine a vast space, the scene from when I looked down at the mountain's base from the rest stop at the peak. Like this? I projected that scene from my memory into my mental world. Normal girls went over their fascination with magical girls when they leave elementary school. So seriously training to use magic at this age was embarrassing even for me. But even that embarrassed feeling felt pleasant to me now. Right then, I was learning mental concentration from Maria One-chan in order to use magic. But it wasn't going very well. It was about as hopeless as teaching a person to wiggle their ears by showing them. It seems that you need to imagine a vast space to gain the mental concentration for using magic. So I remembered the time from my younger days when my family had gone on a small vacation. When I had looked down towards the base of it from a viewing platform at a rest stop on a peak, and I tried hitting the scene in my mental world. No, feel far too small. Imagine a much wider space, and create your own mental world. Your image is still way too foggy. There's no temperature in the air, and there's no wind. No smells either. The world is still very faint. You can leave those for later, so for now, imagine an even wider space. Uryu, why do you have to imagine a vast space? From the time of their birth, humans have inside of them a toxin that blocks magic. If that toxin isn't purified, you can't use magic well. One effective method of achieving this is to imagine a vast space. Just now, I thought of the world as seen from the window of an airplane, but that didn't work. I can't even think of a world more vast than that. In that case, Maria just has to teach Angie about the vast world Maria has. Won't that make it easy for Angie to imagine as well? Oh, you. That's right. And I'm interested in the kind of world One-chan imagines when she uses magic. I'll use it for reference. That won't work. The mental world must be vast and isolated. A world with no obstructions other than yourself. So, if you teach someone about that world, it won't be isolated anymore. That's why you mustn't reveal your mental world to anyone. And if you drop a good mental world, you too must keep it as a secret, only for yourself. So stingy, Maria. Thanks, Sakutaro. I guess there are no shortcuts in training. I'll make an effort. It's okay. I've been given plenty of hints. Thank you. Do your best, Angie. Until recently, I thought there was no way something like magic could save me. After all, magic doesn't exist in this world. That kind of thing, supposedly nothing more than an illusion, a delusion, a daydream. However, Maria Onechan showed me that she could fill her own world with happiness, using a power that's impossible for me. I used to look down on that happiness as something empty. Because I didn't believe in magic, I also denied everything else, refusing to believe in the happiness that magic gave birth to. But slowly, bit by bit, Maria Onechan's world grew happier. In the past, I disparaged it, thinking it too pitiful to look at. But that might have been nothing more than jealousy. I was forced to admit that, and now this is my first step in my search for happiness. A vast space, a dry wind that could blow without being blocked by anything. Let me feel that wind blowing through my own hair. I see, even the ground might get in my way as I am now. Then, I don't need a ground. Brush the ground away, downwards, downwards. In other words, it was as though I had floated up, leaving the ground far behind. After pushing the ground further and further downwards, the ground grew foggy and faint, and for the first time it began to feel like the sky. Then, I understood its vastness. In that instant, I felt the vivid wind go right through even my body. In other words, blowing through me without any resistance. Yes, maintain that sensation. Yeah, I get it. I guess I have been released from all hindrances. You did it, Angie. You did it. You've taken your first step into the world of witches. This is the world of witches? Yeah. So, let's try practicing the magic that you've always wished for, Angie. Magic that'll summon friends. Magic that'll create allies who will save you from your loneliness, and thereby bring you happiness. Will Angie also be able to summon friends like me? Oh, you will. As she is now, it's still far too early for Angie to summon friends like Sakutaro from the Sea of Zero. To begin, let's start by practicing with friends that are easy to summon. What will we start with? Because you're a witch of marriage sorcery, you are also permitted to use those employed by other witches in the Alliance. For example, Sakutaro is my friend, but since you're in the same alliance, he's your friend too, and you can summon him. You want to try summoning Sakutaro one of these days? When you're so lonely it gets tough, I'm sure Sakutaro will cheer you up. I see. You can call Sakutaro a being employed by One-chan. So, as a witch in the same alliance as her, it's possible for me to summon Sakutaro too. I met Sakutaro's gaze. How pleasant it would be to just have him just be there by my pillow. So he could talk to me a bit on lonely nights. If I call out, will you appear and talk to me? Don't you? I can't wait to be summoned by you, Angie. Looking happy, Sakutaro pressed his head against me like a cat. Suddenly, getting a cute younger brother felt a bit confusing, a bit embarrassing, and a bit nice. Unable to understand why I couldn't honestly accept this feeling, I felt tears well up in my eyes. Right. I'll give it all I've got, One-chan. Then, let's practice. Let's try summoning the furniture of Beatrice, a witch from the same alliance. Beatrice's furniture? Hearing Beatrice's name gave me a slightly strange feeling. When it came to the crime on Rokkenjima, the public going on in a frenzy about how it was a sacrifice ceremony performed by a witch. And that witch was Beatrice. So if the witch did commit that crime, that would make her the culprit who stole my family from me. However, Maria Onechan said that Beatrice was a good witch. If I held negative emotions towards Beatrice, He'd get mad, leading to a nasty fight, and refuse to talk for a while. At this moment, One-chan was my only close friend. So to avoid worsening her mood, I decided to think of Beatrice as nothing more than One-chan's magic teacher. Also, I believed that the crime was a conspiracy cooked up by Aunt Eva. I would definitely expose the truth about that someday. Angie, obstructions are entering your body again. Sorry, I lost my concentration. One more time. I'd expect no less from you, One-chan. You instantly noticed that I was being overcome with idle thoughts. After shaking my head just once, I reimagined the wind blowing through a vast space. 7 Sisters of Purgatory? That's a pretty creepy name. But they're very energetic and fun kids. They might become your new friends, Angie. First, I'll show you how to summon them. Watch. Yeah, well, we'll see. Alright, hold on. Sorry. Right. Yeah, it's looking less and less likely that she'll be helpful in denying magic. But, we'll see. Follow the road that's laid out in front of us. Maria One-chan lifted both hands up to the level of her head. Equality unified her mind. A state I wasn't able to reach except by meditating for a long period of time. She reached in the span of a few quick breaths. Then a pale light began to gather in her palms, and one by one the girls began to show themselves. 1, 2, 3 people, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. The way they were summoned, one after another in a line, was a masterpiece. Incredible. Just like the illustrations in One-chan's grimoire, the 7 Sisters of Purgatory. The younger sisters were behind the eldest, Lucifer, who saluted One-chan. The 7 Sisters of Purgatory, right here. Lady Maria, it has been quite some time. Yes, long time no see. Is everyone well? These furniture are what we are because we are used. To us, being summoned after so long is truly an honor. Yeah, Sakataro! It's been so long. You look as delicious, I mean cute as ever. Me first. Yeah, today he's so fluffy, squishy and cute. I can't do these voices right now. Ah, let me hug him too. Let me hug him too. Who are you? Can't breathe. Really? I won't turn away, so let go of me, everyone. Hey, you all. Are you trying to break Lady Maria's furniture? Anyway, get away from him. Hugging is prohibited. Even though you're saying that, it looks like you want to hug him the most, Satan, eh? It's not like I have any interest in something so fluffy, squishy, and cuddly. Why? Be silent in the presence of Lady Maria and Angie-sama, you foolish sisters. They were so energetic. I was shocked by their sudden burst of activity right before they appeared. And on top of that, I was surprised that the innocent Sakataro was on such good terms with the 7 sisters. That's unexpected. To think that Sakataro would be so loved by such shady people. They're fellow members of the same alliance. There's nothing to be scared of, right? But on the off chance that their mood worsens, it looks like they could finish Sakataro off in an instant. It's alright. The witches of the Alliance and their furniture are all friends. The Sakataro can play without worrying. Of course, that goes for you and me too, Angie. It was one of the pacts of mirrored sorcery. Mutual non-aggression and non-interference. Member witches must respect each other's magic and creations. Even the sisters, who were normally shady and belligerent, treated fellow Alliance members as friends. So, to the seven sisters, Sakutaro was a mutual friend. He was loved by all of them, and they were even trying to steal him away from each other. The scene as they squeezed him and loved him was a bit charming. I see. They're fellow members of Myriad Sorcery after all. At a glance, you'd think that Sakutaro's casual atmosphere and the Seven Sisters' shady one would be like water and oil. It looked like they definitely wouldn't be compatible, and yet they were interacting in a friendly way like it was completely natural. If this wonderful alliance could join all the people of the world together, I wonder if everyone in the world would be able to become friends right away. All you seven sisters, listen. Right now, Angie's in the middle of magic training, but I want everyone to lend their power. Certainly, Lady Maria. But what specifically? The magical power materializing you will move from me to Angie. In that state, I want you to be by her side all the time. You just have to talk with her. My apologies, but I wonder if Angie-sama's magical power will be able to easily summon all seven of us around the clock. The oldest sister, Lucifer, gazed at my complexion as she advised this, speaking reservedly. In other words, she was saying that the burden might be heavy for me at this point in time. That's the kind of training it is. Angie has more talent and magic than everyone imagines. It'll be pretty tough, but I think it's worth it for Angie to take the challenge as she is now. Angie, starting now, I'll move the magic power, materializing them, over to you. In other words, it will become as though you had summoned them. So, what Maria Onechan was trying to say was something like this. To keep the seven sisters materialized, you are continuously burdened with a significant amount of magical power. Maybe you could say it was like training while wearing a weighted wristband. Doing all of the seven sisters would be pretty tough. Isn't that asking a lot of Angie all of a sudden? Thank you, Sakutaro. But this is training to become a witch. I want to see how far I can go. The seven of them certainly do seem boisterous, but even if this is for training, having them with me will surely distract me from my loneliness, at least a little. I understood it would be an ordeal, but wanted to give it a shot. Don't overdo it if it gets tough, okay? And everyone, if it looks tough for Angie, take it easy. Certainly. Get it, everyone? Yes, One-sama. Well then, Angie-sama. For now, we, the Seven Sisters of Purgatory, will become your furniture. Lady Maria, if you would. Yeah. So, Angie, can we start? Sure. I'm a little nervous. Who are you? This might be tough all of a sudden. If you feel like you're getting a headache, lower your magic power immediately. Okay. I'll move the source of magic power over to Angie. In an instant, the inside of my head felt very heavy. It's tough. Until then, the inside of my head had only been used for myself. It was almost like it was now being used for 7 other people. If they just stood there and blinked once or let out a single sigh, that would put a strong pressure on my head. Lady Maria, my apologies, but perhaps the burden from all 7 sisters at once might be too great after all. I'm okay. No. It won't work after all. You're using all of your energy to materialize them. There's no point if the burden is such that you can't balance it with your everyday life. And anyway, this is a bit unrefined for a witch. Who are you? That's why I said doing so many suddenly was impossible. Everyone, erase yourselves for a bit. Right. It seems it would be better to lower the number of people. Asmo, erase yourself. Me again? I'm opposed to youngest sister bullying. Disappear starting from the top every once in a while. That would mean I'd have to disappear second, right? No. Don't make a ruckus, Asmo and Livia. Nay, that kind of disturbance will become a burden to Angie-sama. A little yelling, I think. The noise you're making is also a burden, stupid Satan. The seven sisters started arguing over who should erase themselves first. The energy from that fight all became a burden, forcing Angie to bear an even greater headache. In the end, they decided the order was rock, paper, scissors, and 1, 2, 3 of them disappeared. But even at that level, Angie was still far from comfortable. In the end, when 6 of them had erased themselves, I was finally able to calm my breathing. With my magical power, forget the 7 sisters, just one person is my limit. Eesh. This way it's not the 7 sisters, but just me, right? You're a bit unreliable, Angie-sama. Mammon, who had won all of the rock, paper, scissors matches and was permitted to remain until the end, grumbled. Oh, you. Mammon, you shouldn't say things like that. Angie is still just starting her training. Are you alright, Angie? Is your headache okay? Sakutaro stretched up on his tiptoes, trying to pat Angie's head. Watching this, Maria scratched her head, acknowledging that this sudden training had been too difficult. Oh, maybe that was a little too much. I'd be perfectly fine with this much, though. The more friends you have, the more fun it is. Now I'm even more aware of how incredible you are, One-chan. Apparently, when one reaches Maria One-chan's class, one can summon enough people to perform in an orchestra. For a witch apprentice, that's awe-inspiring. Are you okay, Angie-sama? I'm sorry. It looks like summoning you is the most I can do. Well, I guess I'm okay with that. After all, all the 7 sisters, I get Angie-sama all to myself. What do you think, Angie-sama? If it's just me, will it be a burden for you? No, I think I'll be able to manage you alone, somehow. Great! And please train a lot and cultivate your magic power a bunch. Then, someday, for sure, please bring the 7 sisters together and let us serve you. Promise? After confirming that, for the time being, her own materialization wasn't causing any issues, Mammon immediately became cheery again and tried to make me promise to work harder. I see. That definitely fits with her being greedy. But maybe you could also call it having a positive attitude. Yes, I promise. I have to be able to do at least that much someday. Thank you, Angie-sama. I, Mammon of Greed, will surely serve you until that day. My headache finally abated, and I relaxed both hands, which had been clutching at my head. Then, Mammon stuck out her hand, helping me stand back up. Will you? Maria, Angie, it's about that time. If you don't return to the room, you'll be scolded. Huh? Oh. I hadn't expected Sakutaro to talk about the time. I was brought back into reality. As the light had disappeared, the vast world sunk into the darkness, and I was in a tiny, tiny bathroom stall, sitting on a toilet. One-chan's grimoire was open on my lap. I looked at the clock. It was almost 20. Time for lights out. I show up late for the roll call before lights out. Not only will things get pretty annoying, but it'll cause trouble for my roommates and floor mates. I couldn't care less about causing them trouble. I don't want them messing with me later. My free time by myself is already over for today. I'll sleep, wake up, tomorrow will begin. and another long, long gray-colored day will repeat again. I closed the grimoire and rose from the toilet seat. At that time, One-chan appeared again and spoke. Hey, Angie, you're forgetting your training. Take Mammon with you. I'd forgotten. The moment I'd returned to reality, Mammon's materialization had stopped. One more time, I created a strong image of the existence of Mammon in my mind. Sheesh, you're so mean, Angie-sama. Why do you erase me so suddenly? At this rate, you won't be able to call all 7 sisters easily. I'm sorry. I got careless. It's been incredibly long since I've materialized in the human world. I'm interested in absolutely everything. I'm getting a bit excited. Where is this? The St. Lucia Academy dormitory. This is a stall in the shared bathroom. Each room has its own bathroom, so no one comes here. It's quiet and perfect for reading books. So in the storm, you have to hide in a toilet stall, even to read a book? Do they burn books or something? I have a 2-person room, so my roommate is always there. Our relationship is gloomy, and it feels like I'm always getting ignored. The atmosphere is bad, so I really can't relax there. And, as long as I'm not there, she can do what she likes, call her friends over, and chat away. It's more convenient for them too if I don't return until just before lights out. There's also a library, but there's a group that uses it as a meeting place, and they're always talking behind my back, so I don't like to go there. During lunch, it's the bushes behind the school building. During the night, it's the stall in the shared bathroom in the dorms. Those are the only hideaways where I can find peace. I opened the door to the stall and went out. I turned around, signaling with my eyes for Mammon to come with me. I don't really get it, but I realized that it'd be hard to call this place pleasant for you, Angie-sama. Let's go out, quickly. I hate the air here. Really? I think the air here is the most decent. When I left the bathroom and entered the corridor, because it was near lights out time, several kids who had gone to play in other rooms were dashing back to their own. When it came time for lights out, we had to change into uniform pajamas that we hated and called prison clothes, line up in the hallway, and go through the dorm leader's roll call. On the off chance that someone was late, we would take collective responsibility, and all the floor mates would have to undergo punishment in the form of volunteer work. As long as I avoided this, the girls would look at me coldly, but they wouldn't get in my way. That alone was enough for me. Sorry. Mammon looked at the passing kids and the furnishings of the dorm with interest. Without paying her any particular attention, I hurried back to my room. In front of my room was my roommate, who had already changed into her prison clothes, chatting with some kids from the room next door. When they noticed me hurrying back, the topic of their conversation noticeably changed. They lowered their voices, stealing glances at me. I acted like I didn't notice, went to my room and changed. Then I hastily went out into the corridor. Everyone was already lined up. Hey, this is weird. I thought this was a school for rich girls. It's like a prison. It's stupid. You think so too? That's what I think. And unlike prison, you don't get out early for good behavior. After bad-mouthing the place, I noticed something. Having someone to listen to your complaints feels surprisingly good. Fortunately, Mammon's form can only be seen by her summoner, me. And of course, there was no need to speak out loud for this conversation. All I had to do was speak inside my mind, so no one could listen in. Magic, and the friends it creates, might actually not be so bad. All of these people are sheltered brats. Feels like they aren't even alive. Stop it. If you're seen by some chance, It'll be pretty bad, right? Humans without a fragment of hopes or dreams are like a lump of anti-magic. There's no way they'll be able to see me. You lower lifeforms can't even see. Are you okay being around so many humans with that magic-resisting toxin? I'm fine as long as you continue to make me materialize, Anji-sama. Although, since you'll probably have to keep concentrating to materialize me, there's a chance you'll neglect your daily life. Look, that girl you're sharing a room with is calling you, right? Huh? Oh. Ushimiya-san, are you listening? About our weekly duties starting next week. He's probably trying to push a few more chores onto me. My roommate, who never even looked at me in the eye normally, was smiling at me unpleasantly. But it'll be easier to have the weekly duty pushed onto me alone, rather than doing it together with her. That's a small price to pay to have her continue to ignore me non-stop. Even so, with a completely shameless excuse, she sidestepped the issue for some reason, and insisted on flipping the situation around, as though I should have come forward and done it off my own initiative. One of the special traits of this academy is that it's full of girls who don't know how to ask a favor. That kid. He pisses me off. I love to just gouge her right in the forehead. Yeah. I hope you do, one of these days. He's kind of one to talk. Yeah. Having a friend nearby all the time to complain to makes me happier than I thought it would. It really was lively with all the 7 sisters gathered together. I'm sure just watching them mess around will be a lot of fun. I want to gain enough magical power to summon all the 7 sisters at once, and soon. I'll train much, much more, and finally summon the thing I really want to find. What is it you really want to summon, Anji-sama? Mammon noticed my conversation with myself inside my head and asked about it blankly. I hesitated to talk about it, but then figured there was no reason to hide it, and told her. My family. Dad, Mom, Oni-chan. So you mean the souls of the dead? Calling a resident of another world is summoning, and calling back the souls of the dead is called resurrection, and they're completely different. Resurrection is supposed to be a very high-level magic. I know. So much so that even Mario Oni-chan can't do it at all. But that's the thing I want to find with magic, the most. I've been warned that it's a very difficult high-level magic. So great that, in the worst case, I might not necessarily reach that point even after training for my whole life. Furthermore, I have no vessel. The vessel is vital for making magic succeed, whether it's summoning or resurrection. Because I don't have that, magic that would already have been difficult is now hopeless. That's right. I have nothing to remember Dad or Mom by. However, by an extraordinary coincidence, I do have something to remember just Oni-chan by, and that's this. That hair accessory with a pink jewel? What the hell? I hate to say it, but it looks a little cheap for you, Anji-sama. Long ago, without telling Dad, I went with Mom to meet Oni-chan, and we went to play at an amusement park. This is a prize from the crane game there. I know it's cheap. I realize that it doesn't match my style, and I get that it's too childish. But this hair accessory is the only thing that makes me feel as though Battler Oni-chan is by my side. The glass case had been filled with plastic capsules packed with fun-looking things. It seemed that each capsule had some cute accessory in it. The game was to grab those with a crane, but I was young and it was too hard for me. I tried it several times, but I didn't even get close. Mom said that whatever was inside was probably cheap anyway, and we didn't even know what we'd get, so there was no point in getting all upset over it. But whether it was something cheap or not wasn't the problem. The process of grabbing happiness with my own hands felt really important and sacred to me. but I wanted the cheap thing inside more than anything. Then, Battler Oni-chan came over, after finishing a game of shooting soldiers with a gun, and tried to do it for me. With his arms that were longer than mine, Oni-chan grasped the happiness that I couldn't reach. Oni-chan really was coordinated. It seems he often played with his friends at the arcades. After only 1 or 2 attempts, he grasped that thing on the other side of the glass with a crane that I hadn't even been able to touch, and threw it into the exit chute. When Oni-chan tossed me that capsule, I remembered that he looked very, very reliable. For several days, I felt like opening the capsule would be a waste. Then, one day, I finally opened it up, and what revealed itself inside was this pink jeweled hair accessory. Since that day, it's been a symbol for Oni-chan. Since I was young, I felt that having all 4 of us gathered, including Battler Oni-chan, was a precondition for a happy family. So I wanted Oni-chan and Dad to make up quickly. In my own way, I treated this hair accessory as a charm for bringing my full family together. I always used to wear it. I wanted to feel my reliable, fun, and wonderful Oni-chan by my side all the time, and let him live in our house. But my memories of Oni-chan are very distant. I can't do it as easily as Maria One-chan created Sakutaro from a lion stuffed animal. One day, I'll surely possess the high-level magic to revive the souls of the dead. And the only key, the only vessel that can make that successful, is this. I see. I did feel incredible magic power from that hair accessory. So that's what it was. Magical power? There's magical power in this thing Oni-chan gave me? Maybe I should say that it resides in you, Anji-san. Your strong desire to call your brother gives you magical power. Resurrection certainly is the high-level magic. But there can be no mistake that you're steadily and unconsciously climbing the stairs towards. I'm glad. It's nice to hear someone other than myself acknowledge that. Your own effort isn't something that you can observe by yourself. In that sense, even though these words came from a shady demon girl who controls one of the 7 deadly sins, they made me very happy. Well, I can't guarantee that you'll obtain the resurrection magic before your life is over. However, your power as a witch is proportional to the height of the mountain you dare to climb. If you don't lose heart, I'm sure you'll rival even our former master, Beatrice, as a great witch someday. I wonder if I can. I wonder if I can become a great witch and revive Oni-chan. No, my family. The Witch of Resurrection, Lady Angie. Wonderful! A Witch of Resurrection is a very rare kind of witch. Having a master like that would make me pretty proud. Actually, I'd love for that to happen, because furniture's worth is also proportional to the class of its master. Please pass Beatrice-sama up and become a peerless great witch. As a representative of the 7 Sisters of Purgatory, I'll support you from the bottom of my heart. I thought that if a magical friend were to appear for me too, a cute kid like Sakutaro would be best. But even this 5th sister of the shady 7 sisters, who controlled the 7 deadly sins, was enough to calm my heart so much all by herself. Maria One-chan has probably known that since long ago. That's why she remembered the world of witches to me over and over and over again. And I kept on stubbornly rejecting her. I should have given in and started my training as a witch sooner. A year for a child is worth 10 years for an old person, right? Now I find my past self, which only ever complained, deplorable for wasting my precious time. Long after I turned off the lights and slipped into bed, Mammon continued to talk to me alongside my pillow. I promise, one day, for sure, I'll develop a magical power that can summon the 7 sisters, and I'll let them have a lively and fun time. The 7 of them make a single whole. None can be left out. Family must be together. I must bring them together. This chair is really annoying. My awareness began to return slowly. Unable to stand watching Aunt Rosa and Maria Oni-chan's relationship, I ran away from Beato's and Oni-chan's game, didn't I? I've got to go back. I've got to go back, support Oni-chan, and quickly bring him back from this strange world of the witch's game. After all, as long as I'm here, I'm not allowed to call myself Angie. Really? Fly just flew, like, right in my eye. Why'd they do stuff like that? At that time, I felt someone's presence. When I turned around, I could see Mammon there. Gretel-sama, Beatrice-sama said that if you do not return soon, it will become a hindrance to the progression of the game. I beg that you return swiftly. Thank you. I'll go back now. Isn't it great? What is? That you were able to meet Battler Oni-chan. Is that sarcasm? Well, if that's how it sounds, feel free to call it that. I'm sorry. I should have taken it literally. Yeah, you're right. Even in this screwed up world, being able to meet Oni-chan makes me happy from the bottom of my heart. And you'll win against Beatrice, for your Oni-chan's sake. Yes. Can't have him playing around in a world like this forever. About time for him to return home. That's why I came to call him. Please do the best you can. Although I can't support you, since my current master is Beatrice-sama. I know. Until October 5th, 1986, you are Beatrice's furniture. And eventually, you'll become my friend. But eventually, you'll throw that friend away. After all... Mammon moaned as if she'd bit her tongue, staggering as she clutched her chest. Apparently, the rules apply to people other than me as well. Are you okay? It's pretty painful. Excuse me. Gretel-sama. No. Thank you. I'm glad I was able to meet Oni-chan. That's my answer to your first question. Well, let's go back. If I grumble too much, you'll get in trouble with your current master. Yes. I'm glad you understand. Well then, is it... Mammon? Huh? I'm sure Mammon was about to say, well then, this way. But then, she stopped, as though the film had been torn off at that point. It looked like she'd suddenly frozen. Then, I noticed. She wasn't the only thing that had frozen. Even the air and floating bits of dust had frozen in place in empty space. A world where it seemed even time had frozen. Yes, this looks like a portent that Burncastle will appear. But the atmosphere was different somehow. Then, I understood. It wasn't Burncastle. It was the other witch. How are you feeling, Angie? Lambda Delta. The rules don't apply to you, do they? Of course not. Rules exist to bind others. What kind of idiot would bind themselves with them? Burncastle is a witch who supports me, but this girl is different. This witch supports Beatrice. In other words, she's a being on the opposing side. But there's some kind of difference between her and Beatrice. Even compared to Burncastle, there's something strange about Lambda Delta's existence. It's... how should I put it? Maybe like she's a being from a higher dimension. In any event, I was still unsure about how to deal with her. The only thing that was certain was that she was my enemy. No, just knowing that might be enough, but... So, do you have some business with me? Not really. When I listened in on your conversation, it started to get a bit interesting. I thought I'd let you hear something good. You're supposed to be my enemy. I can't think of a reason for you to tell me something that'd help me. The moment I start listening to you, I lose. Bye. See you next time. Don't misunderstand. My opponent is Burn, not you. In other words, it's possible for there to be a topic that benefits both you and me. Sorry, but I don't feel like listening. Although I said that, I probably won't be released from this frozen time until Lambda Delta is satisfied. This might be proof that she is in a higher dimension than me. I haven't been given the option of not listening to her. All I can do is try not to be shaken by anything she says, and strengthen my mental guard. They'll probably try to make me believe something disadvantageous to me, threatening me. There's no need to square off like that. I just came to resolve your misunderstanding. No, that's not quite it. I came to let you know about the lie Berncastle told you. Berncastle lied? Didn't Bern make it sound like your big brother would come back if you defeated Beato? Who knows? I don't feel like talking with you. My brother coming home. I hadn't been promised anything that dreamlike. Getting just one person, only if I was lucky, had been a promise without very high hopes. But that's enough for me. After being promised an eternity of isolation, having a faint but still non-zero chance was like a shining beacon. In a way, that promise of Bern's wasn't a lie. If Bern promised, then I'm sure that if you defeat Beato, Battler and your parents will be released and will come back to you. Then there's no problem. Seriously? That kid is surprisingly cruel. To think she'd deceive you, even though she knows. How are you saying I was deceived? Damn, I'm letting her take the initiative. But I won't be released until I lend an ear to her. That's something I'll have to hear anyway. Even though I realized I was falling into a trap, I urged her forwards. What year is it now? You're talking about the world's the game board? In that case, it's October 4th, 1986. That's right. So if you win against Beato, then on October 6th, when the typhoon is past, the people who are trapped on the island will return. On October 6th, 1986, that is. Right? So what? How was your October 6th, 1986? You were at your relative's house, right? I'd been at the house of the only Sumidera my mother trusted, Grandpa. We got a call. I was playing with building blocks in the tatami room. We got that call. After watching to make sure that I'd remembered, Lambda Delta laughed unpleasantly and spoke. Hey. On your October 6th, 1986, did Battler Oni-chan come home? Even though I didn't understand what she was saying, I noticed an unpleasant sweat seeping out all over my face. I don't get it. I don't get it. What is this witch saying? See? If you defeat Beato, Battler will certainly be released, and he'll probably return home. To his home in 1986. After all, that's how it is, right? Battler was locked up from the 4th to the 5th of October in 1986. It's only natural that he'd return the next day if he were to be released, right? And you? You're a person from the year 1998. You're Ushiomi Anji of the year 1998, where Battler did not return. Know what that means? What are you talking about? My family came back home on October 6th. Wouldn't that be wonderful? I'd come home from Grandpa's house right away, and then we'd meet. Everyone would be happy. Yes, Ushirimiya and Angie probably would be reunited with their family. The 6-year-old Ushirimiya Angie from 1986 would, right? Who am I? Ushirimiya Angie, an 18-year-old one. No, that's not it. You aren't Ushirimiya Angie. You're a witch's piece with that name. Strictly speaking, the name Angie Beatrice belongs to a completely different person. Know what that means? I don't really get it anymore. Huh? Huh? Who am I? Huh? And that's why I think Burn's cruel. No, I think she's a meanie. Especially since it's not like she hasn't gone through the same thing herself. Am I being tricked somehow? Yeah, but please don't blame Burn, okay? After all, depending on how you look at it, that kid isn't lying. If Beato is defeated, your family will be returned. Returned to Ushirimiya Angie. But she probably didn't say that this Ushirimiya Angie would be you, right? Was it like that? Was it like that? What did Burncastle say to me again? Your assistance is required. Your family needs it. Burncastle started by saying that. Then I spoke. If I say something, does that mean my family will come home? How did Burncastle answer that again? I cannot promise that. You did make me a promise. In exchange for accepting this fight. Yes, this is what she said. In exchange, I will search for a fragment with the ideal world that you wish for. A world where your family comes home. Yeah, that's right. She didn't say any more than that. She'd look for it. She didn't say she'd find it. But I was prepared for that from the beginning. But even so, that child promised that as long as I didn't give up, there's a faint chance of it happening. And, in the end, she said this. I'm giving you a chance for revenge. In exchange, I promise to search for and bring you the happiest resolution among the possibilities you're capable of accepting. I've known it was a tough bet from the very beginning. After all, I had no family in my 1998. Even just a small chance of shaking that absolute zero would be worth it. I was warned beforehand that even if I succeed in my revenge, it might be a wasted effort. So, yeah, there's no lie in that part. Beto's game board is perfect. Even having you around makes the chances of Beto losing so slim that it's doubtful you could even dream of it happening once in your life. In other words, your chance of winning is almost zero. So absolutely that it could be regarded as infinitely close to zero. So, Burn can be forgiven for saying that part in such an evasive way. But I can say for sure that she was tricking you when she'd let you get your hopes up. After all, even if you could overcome astronomical odds and win, the person your family will come back to isn't you. It's the 6-year-old Angie that exists in this 1986. The true Ushirimiya Angie, not you. Burn will still probably go around with billions of fragments, searching for the best world for you. But didn't she tell you that she planned on bringing it to you as a present, but wasn't able to find it? She did. You're finally starting to notice, aren't you? No reward has been prepared for you in this battle. No, to the contrary. Once smashed, Beto's game board will disappear. Then you, as a piece, will disappear. The sort of goal you'd be capable of accepting is completely... No. I'll proclaim it upon my name. Upon the name of the Witch of Certainty, Lambda Delta, I proclaim that it certainly doesn't exist. That can't be. That's what Burn lied about. Or should I call it speaking in riddles? She made you misunderstand and think you could be saved. I came to clear that up. In other words, no matter how hard I fight, no matter how hard I pursue victory, my family won't come back to me? Right, they won't come back. With certainty. The Witch of Certainty says it with certainty. Isn't this incredible? Several ancient kings have dedicated historical buildings to me because they wanted me to give them certainty. And here I am, graciously giving it to you as a present. Isn't this really incredible, cute, and marvelous? But I have a single good proposition for you. Damn, I'm getting completely overwhelmed. I knew I shouldn't have listened, and now I'm starting to be overwhelmed by this witch, Lambda Delta. My opponent is Burn, not you. Didn't I just say it's possible for the two of us to talk about something that benefits us both? I've said that from the beginning. So listen to me. You have no choice. Okay. I'll listen. I'm just gonna listen, right? I finally lost control over my emotions and exploded from the inside. I don't have a clue anymore. I believed that I was Angie, but at some point I stopped being Angie. That's right. I'm Angie, not Angie. Who am I? I'm not my parents' child nor my brother's little sister. I'm just a piece in a witch's game. There's no need to be so pessimistic. I mean, think about it, okay? Right now, you're together with Battler Oni-chan. While it's true that you can't tell him your name, at least you're positioned as his ally in a game where he battles the witch, and you're able to be with him for all eternity. Know what it means? I can't stand it, but I understand. In other words, as long as Oni-chan keeps getting a tie in this game, it will continue forever. Continuing to tie means continuing the game for eternity. And it means that I can remain with Oni-chan as a piece. But if Oni-chan wins, or loses, then the curtain closes on the game. You, as a piece, will disappear. How do you define happiness for a game piece? Getting used by someone playing the game. Nothing more. You won't find it when the game's shut in a closet gathering dust, right? In the past, the Seven Sisters of Purgatory said it as well. Furniture's happiness comes from being used, not being stored away. That's right, I am now the witch's furniture. Let's change things around a bit. To be honest, I want this game to continue to tie for all eternity. An unending game is an eternal cage. An absolute closed room that never opens for all time. And that'll finally make Burn surrender. You know, Beato does want to win, a bit. Victory by making Battler surrender. But that's actually a problem for me. After all, as the game ends, the closed room will fall apart. So I'll go easy on Battler a bit, to stop him from surrendering. Don't worry, okay? When Battler's about to surrender, I'll become his ally. But you know, I get the feeling that Beato is faintly starting to realize. I think she's starting to realize that her victory won't come for all eternity in this game. But she is, of course, the Endless Witch. Beato's stupid, so she optimistically thinks that even so, she'll surely win, eventually. Like she just has to repeat this game on, endlessly. Of course, pretty much all blondes are morons. I'm not gonna say it. In this game of witches, there will never be a victory or a loss. I won't let her win, and I won't let her lose. With certainty. Burn noticed that, so she looked for the most powerful piece for breaking that deadlock, found you, and threw you in. To make this game end, you see. To make this game end. What's the piece's role when the game ends? I'll state it clearly. Your existence is a contradiction. Your reason for existing is to bury yourself in the darkness and despair. My goal is to defeat Beato and release my captive family. And yet, even if I succeed, I won't be rewarded. You cannot lose, and you won't be rewarded if you win. So, I've brought you a third choice, and that choice will make our interests coincide, continuing the tie for all eternity. Yes, as long as the tie continues forever, this world will not crumble. What is this world? It's the world of the game with the witch. A world where Beato and Battler fight for all eternity. And at the same time, it's a world where you get to be with Battler for all eternity. My head was spinning. That confusion became a hot liquid, and I felt it pouring from my eyes. It was so hot that it felt like it would burn my face. Right. Angie Beatrice. Since Burncastle's goal is to end the game and even end the world where you and Battler can interact, why should you be her ally? That kid tricked you, you see. She made it look like you might be saved if you gave her peace. But I won't deceive you there. But I'll say it, Angie. Become my chess piece. Unlike Burn, I won't offer you rewards based on lies and certainly will never be granted. As long as you become my piece and help me so that this world certainly never ends. Then with certainty, I'll swear upon my name that this world will certainly continue. That's not all. I'll add on a bonus. This rule that binds you. I'll clear it away for you. Well, of course, I'll only do it after you've sworn to become my piece. Okay? In my own throat, there was a thick, loud, gulping sound. I shouldn't have listened. If I had listened, I could have remained an innocent little sister, praying for my brother's victory. But I might be different now. I might have been degraded into a witch's furniture. One that cares about nothing but being on each side. I'm not telling you to betray your brother, okay? If it looks like Battler's gonna lose, you can save him with all you've got. On the other hand, when Battler closes in on Beato too much, I want you to hold back a little. That's all I'm asking, alright? Don't worry, there's no need to actually betray Battler. Battler can't win against Beato alone. That's why Burn threw you in, you see? As long as you don't lend a hand, Battler will be unable to win against Beato for all eternity. See? It's really simple, isn't it? I can't laugh, so pardon. Umineko no Nako Koroni, Bundle of the Witch and Reasoning. More flashbacks? Wow, this is quite a long one. Hey, that's mine! Give it back! No, I'll eat it. Asmo, pass. Over here, Livio and Hey-sama. I wonder where they swiped it from. They were fighting over a donut or something, playing around really loudly. Hey, Angie-sama's reading. Well, can't you be a little more quiet? Yelling stuff like that makes you the loudest one, Satan. Be silent. You foolish little sister. You're the loud one, Lucifer and Hey-sama. Is there something you'd like to say to me? I was already used to the oldest and third oldest sister arguing with each other. Even though they're both so quick to anger, it's a bit funny how they're both having to hold back a little. They might be surprisingly like each other. You were told to be noisy, but this is a bit too much. Should I make them lower the volume a little? They can mess around all they want. It's 100 times more pleasant than the shrill laughter in the classroom. Angie-sama, go to the next page, quickly. You read really slow. you like to read, Mammon? You look like you'd be the worst at doing boring things. Mammon controls greed. That also includes the thirst for knowledge. Still, she wants to keep that knowledge all for herself. So be warned that she refuses to let people read any books you give her, and sometimes burns them after reading them. I like knowing things that no one else knows. I like being able to do things that no one else can do. But I like studying and practicing, because I want to keep wisdom that no one else knows without all to myself. As Mammon said that, her eyes sparkling, and peered down at the page that was open and read through it again. You could see the greed that made her covet that page even more thoroughly than I did. As you can see, my magical power has grown much stronger than it was on the first day I summoned them. By now I've gotten so that I can summon all the 7 Sisters of Purgatory at once, and still calmly read a book like this. This place, although I can't really recall exactly where it is a quiet and calm street-side bench. I'd been young back then, so I don't remember the details of its location. Still, I remember that my days walking here were a lot of fun, together with Dad, Mom, and even Oni-chan. It was a memory of a very rare and very happy day when everyone had been together. The people who walked by every once in a while didn't notice me. They just pleasantly ignored me and passed by as though everything was normal. Even the 7 Sisters' incredible outfits weren't embarrassing or anything, because it wasn't like anyone was actually watching. Come to think of it, I'm getting pretty used to it, as long as they don't make me wear those. I was sitting on a stylish bench, memorizing a timeline for the world history. In an academy system where everything is based on collective responsibility, there's no tolerance for dunces. It seemed that I was considerably below the average grade for the class, according to those extremely intellectual girls. If I alone improved my grade, the average would rise drastically. They had been kind enough to show me with a graph drawn by colorful pens on a B4 sheet of drawing paper. Just thinking of the effort it had taken to draw that was repulsive, but I've already spat out all those complaints. I've already voiced my constant and furious anger and sadness to these girls here. The sisters were sometimes indignant, sometimes sympathetic, and sometimes mourned along with me. I was truly happy to be able to share emotions like that with friends. It's said that they were originally furniture that existed to carry out Beatrice's cruel sacrifice ceremony. According to the occult message bottle I hated, it seems that several of them even attacked my family. But I don't believe that, and it's pointless to question them about it. They are furniture, so they only respond to their master's requests. Even if they really did attack my family, I can't hate them. What I really hated was the Golden Witch, Beatrice, or else that ringleader of the Ushimiya suspicion, Aunt Eva. Angie-sama, quickly, the next page. Oh, sorry. I'm tired. Mind if I take a break? Angie-sama said break! Let's play! Angie-sama, let's play! When they noticed that I had interrupted my studying, the most energetic youngest sisters gathered around me. And that wasn't all. Even Maria, One-chan, and Sakutaro showed themselves. They had probably been very close by, but they must have hid themselves so they wouldn't interrupt my studying. Who are you? Angie? How's studying? Sakutaro! How are you? Wait a second. Let me squeeze him too. Don't we always say that the first one to get there wins? Cute. Oh, cute. You're crushing me. Oh, yo. Your luck ran out when you showed up while all the 7 sisters were gathered. Give up and let us hug you. Come on. It always turns out this way. I apologize for my stupid older and younger sisters. Sakutaro is happy to meet everyone too. How's it going, Kanji? How's the studying going? Thanks. Well, not bad. They were nice enough to pass around printouts from a quiz that another class took earlier. Their beautiful sense of solidarity is enough to bring tears to my eyes. Well, at least it's probably better to put a timeline into my head. Who are you? You sure are good at studying, Kanji. You'll be able to get a lot of points, will you? Good work. I was terrible at studying, so I'm jealous of you for being able to get a good score when you study hard. You're joking. When it comes to English, Latin, and knowledge of the occult, you're much more amazing for being able to remember so much. I can remember anything when studying magic, but I can't remember anything boring. So that didn't help at all for tests. Well, it's true that occult knowledge would be like that, but your grades must have been pretty good in English, right? In the first year of elementary school, on a Japanese language test, there was a problem when I was given a picture of a gun and was told to write its name in 4 squares. It got marked wrong because I wrote the English word rifle in katakana. Rifle. Why? Doesn't that fit? It was supposed to be the Japanese for gun in hiragana. Teppo? I was told that's wrong because you don't learn katakana in 1st grade. And that's a problem with schools. You're learning too fast. You need to dumb yourself down and learn at the speed we tell you to. That doesn't help anybody. I didn't really get it. So from that day on tests, I wrote everything in hiragana. But I got in trouble with Mama for some reason. I got in trouble with the teachers too. You were probably born in the wrong country, One-chan. I'd rather have been born in a country of witches, so I could enter a witch school. Ooh. If that happened, you might have had much more wonderful magical friends. Ooh, you. Ooh. But it's not like I mind it now. After all, I can use lots of magic. I've got a lot of magic friends. Sakataro is all I need. I'm not the only one. There's also Sasuke, and Sakukichi, the animal band, Himoto-kun the seal, Nanae-san the rabbit, Mr. Pig-kun, and plenty more. Incredible. The number of One-chan's friends keeps increasing. Every time I ask, the number of names for her friends grows. But there's no doubt that Sakataro is her best friend. I'm a little jealous of all those close friends. What do you think? How are the 7 sisters? Do you get along with them? Those sisters are really energetic. They sometimes say shady stuff, but they aren't bad. I'd want to get a cute kid like Sakataro, but I think being with them now is more than enough. If you learn more of my magic of origins, I'm sure I'll be able to give birth to friends that you'll like, Kanji. Creation is still a bit too hard for you now. There's a difference between creation and summoning, and resurrection is also different. So, your greatest wish really is to revive your family. Yes. I have a vessel for it. Yes. That's right. I'm sure that hair accessory will eventually become the key to summoning Battler. The rest is up to your training, Angie. Although, not knowing how long it'll take is enough to make me cry. Uryu. Stay strong, even if it's tough. If you don't give up, Angie, it will definitely come true someday. If someone gave me some proof that it would definitely be granted, at least that would calm my heart. Uryu. Then I guarantee it. Without a doubt, Angie will surely have her wish granted someday. Thanks. I'm glad to hear it, even if you're just saying it to console me. It's not like that, Uryu. Stop it, Angie. That kind of emotion will turn into the magic-resistant toxin. The feeling that your dreams will definitely come true is the best seed that buds into magic power. That's right. Alright, teacher. You need to be a bit greedier, Angie-sama. Go however far it takes to get the thing you desire. You're lacking the willpower to never give up until you get it. Oh, you. That isn't true. Anji's doing her best. Thanks, Sakutaro, Mammon. Crying about it won't help anything. There's nothing I can do except hang in there. I'll try hard. I'll grit my teeth. I'll definitely make my dreams come true. With certainty. Uryu. You're awesome, Anji. Do your best. Mammon and I will support you. Yes, we'll support you. The greedier our master is, the more our worth will increase. More importantly, Anji-sama, we finally got 10 people gathered here. We plan to have everyone play Shiritori or something. If you lose, there's a punishment game. Let me nibble your ears. Come on, is hunger the only thing inside that head of yours? Kinda. Please forgive your foolish sister's stupid proposals. Are you sure it isn't about time you return to your studying? Oh no. I waited so long for you to finish studying. I can't stand it if you don't play with us. I don't think it's a bad idea. Perhaps playing every once in a while is good for softening the mind. You govern sloth, right, Belfo? What you're saying sounds reasonable, but you're actually being sneaky, aren't you? My apologies. You are diligent, Anji-sama. If it's okay with Anji, I'd also like to play with everyone. Let's make some noise. It'll definitely be fun. Anji, let's play. Let's all do Shiritori. I think that might be a decent spot to stop. That'll be it for today. Technical and personal problems aside. It wasn't too bad. Oh, and there are the 7 sisters. Gourmet of the sisters. Leviathan. Mammon, there she is. The one that started it all for this arc. Anyway, that's gonna be it for today. I'm actually getting pretty tired, personally. Thank you for bearing with me and staying around these troublesome times. I might look into a backup service for streaming stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, see y'all later. Till next time. Have a good one.